Hi guys, welcome to Grammar and Writing Lesson 53. Here is our vocabulary for the day. Our first word is anecdote. Anecdote. Don't forget that C. Sometimes people say antidote or antidote. Antidote is actually our next word, so we have to be very careful in how we pronounce this word. It's anecdote. Anecdote. Not anecdote, anecdote. It means a short story or an account of an amusing or interesting incident. So it's just like a little interesting story is the idea. For example, historians tell the anecdote of Benjamin Franklin's kite flying near lightning. So it's a little story about Benjamin Franklin. It's very interesting, kind of pulls you in to that history. So here's the different word, antidote. So antidote and anecdote are different words. When they're said very quickly in English, sometimes they sound the same, or sometimes people pronounce them the same way. But they are different words with different pronunciations. An antidote is a medicine or other remedy to counteract the effects of a poison. So if someone has, for example, a poisonous snake bite, or they've eaten something poisonous, they need an antidote. For example, the hospital stocks an antidote for rattlesnake bites. Let's get some practice. The grandparents enjoyed hearing any blank about their grandchild. Anecdote or antidote. A bee sting kit contains an blank for a bee sting. Anecdote or antidote. Ipecac syrup is in blank for some types of poison. Anecdote or antidote. Ipecac causes you to just throw it all up. So this would be for poison that you ingest, that you eat. Number 4. Have you heard the blank about George? Oops. Washington and the apple tree. I knew I was missing something. Sorry, guys. Have you heard the blank about George Washington and the apple tree? So is that anecdote or antidote? All right, let's check our answers. Number 1 should be anecdote because it's a little story. Number 2, antidote because it's a medicine for counteracting the poison of the bee sting. Number 3 is antidote because, again, we're talking about medicine for a poison. And number 4 is anecdote because we're talking about the little story about George Washington. Okay, let's jump into your writing lesson. You need writing page 97, combining with that or which. So this is the same idea as what you did the day before yesterday. To combine sentences by adding details about a place or a thing. This is not a person. When you combine with who, you're adding details about a person. But when you're combining by adding details about a place or a thing, we use the words that or which. Use that when you add an essential detail that identifies the place or thing. For example, these are separate sentences. The train stops at Oakville. The train leaves at 1 o'clock. So we're adding a particular detail about the train. So I need to use that because we're talking about that train. You can combine putting that in front of either sentence. So I'm going to show you both. The train that stops at 1 o'clock. So you're describing which train by saying that stops at 1 o'clock. Stops at Oakville. So the train that stops at 1 o'clock stops at Oakville. Oakville, excuse me. That shouldn't be stops. That should be leaves. I'm sorry about that. Okay, the train that leaves at 1 o'clock stops at Oakville. And in the second sentence, it should be the train that stops at Oakville leaves at 1 o'clock. So you could put that in front of either sentence and combine it with the other. Use commas and which when you are merely adding information. So this is not necessarily important information that is essential to your understanding of the sentence and understanding the context. This is just a little bit of extra information. We use commas to show that it's not necessarily necessary. It's an unessential addition, and we use the word which in this case. So for example, separate sentences, the train is always on time. It is coming in now. All right, the fact that it is always on time or that it is coming in now is not going to make or break your sentence. So you could say the train, which is always on time, is coming in now. So what you're really focused on is the fact that it's coming in now. That it's always on time, that's not essential information. It's just something that you're adding in as, oh, by the way, it's always on time. So we use which and we set it off with commas. Okay, let's get some practice before you do the homework. Combining sentences with that or which. Combine each of the following pairs of sentences by using the word in parentheses. Use commas when necessary. Now this is from your page 97. We're going to be working through the first three sentences together. The boat needs repair. It was damaged in the storm. Now you have the word that in parentheses on your page. So you are pointing out specific information identifying the boat. This is the boat that needs repair. This is the boat that was damaged in the storm. You can choose either sentence to go with that. So I'm just going to show you one example. The boat that was damaged in the storm needs repair. Or you could say the boat that needs repair was damaged in the storm. Either one of those. Okay, number 2. Sneakers come in many colors. Sneakers are fun to wear. In parentheses, you have the word which, because notice that these sentences are kind of light and fluffy. There's not really any essential information in them. So you could say sneakers, which come in many colors, set off with commas, are fun to wear. You set it off with commas because if I took that away, sneakers are fun to wear, my sentence would make sense. It doesn't need the extra detail about coming in many colors to still have the main idea of the sentence. Number 3, the city has a new mayor. I live in that city. Now you need to use the word that. This means that you are specifically identifying something. Well, you're identifying the city. It's the city that you live in. So I could say, the city that I live in has a new mayor. I'm identifying the city as the one that I live in. All right, those are the first 3 sentences. So for your homework, you need to complete the rest of them on combining with that or which, page 97. If you feel confused at all, please let me know, and I would be happy to help you. Have a wonderful day, guys. I love you very much. Bye.